years. So I get it. Yeah, you're going to be mad, oh, Isaiah did this. Going to be adults pretty soon. And I could tell y'all, that young man looked me in the face. He said he going to run for office. He the one who going to decide on my pension. Like, y'all not taking this serious enough. And that's why, that's what my colleagues are saying. That's why we're so upset. It ain't about y'all. It ain't even about the teachers. I love the teachers, I really do. But come on, y'all. Come to Lincoln Hall with me. Look at them deaf kids and them blind kids. Tell their parents to their face, you got to go to Saul. I get it. And I said this at the press conference. Maybe you could take the environment on the outside and put it at Saul, but you can't do that with the environment on the inside. And if you've been there, you would know that. That's it. I'm done for the day.
Thank you, Member Thomas. Councilman Rulandell. And we have a hard stop at 1.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for being here. I think I want to start by just taking a minute of reading the room, trying to understand a little bit more school districts of where you guys are coming from. I will be honest how I feel, how you come to this space. You seem annoyed with us. You seemed like we are just kind of pestering, and that this is not the conversation you want to have or the place to be. But I want to say that I'm going to go back to my first comment, which was that all of the work that could have happened before now, those are the courageous conversations that need to happen. Getting in front of the community, working with the council people. When I hear that you've come up with a solution for certain parts of the 3rd district, this all could have been front-ended. So you're hearing clearly that we're upset, and we see that you've come to this space to be frustrated, but there's a lot of work that could have happened up until now. I believe that Superintendent Watlington, when you had a one-on-one conversation with each one of us, I recall you saying that you all made the choice to eliminate the deficit this year because you keep going out to Harrisburg, and in Harrisburg they don't look kindly to the city of Philadelphia, saying, we don't want to give you more money because you keep holding this deficit. And that your reason for getting rid of the deficit all at once in this 1 year is because you believe that Harrisburg will give us more money. What evidence do you have that Harrisburg will give us more money if we eliminate the deficit in 1 year, rip the Band-Aid off?
Before the superintendent speaks, I want to address the energy in the room piece. Please don't take my energy as being disrespectful to the space. I welcome you to board meetings often, and we have conversations there. My energy is at the fact that we have to have this conversation in the first place, all of us. I think we have been put into a cauldron as a city, fighting over scarce resources, and we're all fighting for the babies. And I think we all agree on the what and the why. We are disagreeing on the how. So please, if anybody felt that my demeanor, not wearing a suit today, I would have wore a suit. I was prepared to speak tomorrow, but I wanted to address that, Councilmember Landau, that this is really important work, and I think the energy that we're bringing is that we're also trying to be zealous advocates for our babies. But Dr. Watlington, please add your time.
I want to say 3 things. I'm trying to be very succinct. Council President likes to get to the point. To show you how bad historic underfunding has been in the school district of Philadelphia, I want the council to think about this. Congress appropriated the COVID money for 2 reasons, going back to Councilmember Harity's comment or question. Congress said we're going to get this money out to the 50 states and 15,000 public school districts. Number 1, to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 learning loss. That was number 1. Congress said, number 2, school districts may also use these dollars to address air quality issues to mitigate future airborne illness, COVID-19, and future pandemics. So that's why some districts were able to build schools and do some other things. It was around air quality. In my last district, we actually provided retention bonuses to teachers. Here in Philadelphia, because the district is so underfunded, this district, even though people think the budget is so big, had to not only try to deal with learning loss, Dr. Bill Haidt had to take as much of that COVID money and fill the holes that funding is just not providing. Here's the best example. While most districts would not spend COVID money on positions, this school district hired 127 assistant principals with COVID-19 money. You let me recommend to President Streeter to cut 127 assistant principals, and every member of this council would be not happy. That just shows that here the money had to go to plug a lot of holes. The reason why I think we can get more money is not because I'm Pollyannish or somehow naive. In 2023, the Commonwealth Court ruled that the way we fund schools is unconstitutional in this Commonwealth. The General Assembly has started on a path, as well as the city, to get more revenue. It's just going to take time to get to adequate funding. Our best estimate right now is that it'll take a decade at the rate we're going. Our kids can't wait a decade, so I'd say that first. Second, I don't disagree that we can take some measures here in Philadelphia to help ourselves and then go to Harrisburg, the appropriate elected officials and others, and make the case that we're doing our part, you do your part. I don't have any magic wand or crystal ball, but I do think it puts the city in a stronger footing when we say we don't have 35% of our school buildings sitting empty and asking for more money.
And if I could be brief, I think one of the elephants in the room that the board is constantly worried about and guarding against, there's a statute that is still viable in our state where we can lose local control again if we're seen as being financially in trouble. So the Board of Education understands we will guard that to our graves, because we understand the impact that about 20 years had on our city of Philadelphia, and we're starting to put things back that were taken away and rebuilding public education. So I think that's one of the elephants in the room we're not talking about. It's not just about getting more resources. It's not getting things taken away and done to us again. That's part of the analysis too.
Appreciate that. I don't think that was a little bit of a direct answer to my question that you said.
Member Landau, I'm ready to wrap it up. So
I would
we have
like
to be brief, and you're going to have them all day tomorrow. We all will have them all day tomorrow.
this is
So
okay.
I'm just being frank. They stopped what they were doing to come temporarily, but we will have them all day tomorrow as well. So can you be brief and wrap it up, and Majority Leader?
The question was, why do we have to eliminate the full deficit this year? I understand how it got there.
I'm
And
sorry,
I
I didn't-
understand how this mark would look bad for potentially losing local control. I'm asking that specific question.
We eliminate this deficit in 1 year. This is a 4-year plan. We are recommending that President Streeter and his board take these austerity measures to the tune of $225 million in fiscal year 26, 27, and that we continue to trim our budget over the next 4 years such that by fiscal year 30, we will once and for all eliminate the structural deficit in the school district of Philadelphia.
So the significant amount this year, the largest amount this year.
The longer
I
you
just-
kick the can down the road, the more interest and the more you
I'll
pay.
end with this. I've been a lawyer for a long time. When a judge orders that someone has to be evicted, they have to leave their home. When a judge orders that someone committed a crime, they go to jail. When a judge orders you have to pay someone a certain amount of money, you have to pay that amount of money. We got to figure out a way to get this money from the state. The judge ordered it in 2023. We must be adequately funded. They owe us money. Let's go get it. End of discussion.
I wish it was that simple, though. I'm just being frank, and I come from that body. You have a a strongly controlled Republican Senate, and that no matter how much my good friend and Appropriations Chairman Jordan Harris does, or my little sister, the Speaker, Joanna McClinton, do, at the end of the day, unless we take control of that Senate, right? I mean, it's good to say it, but I'm come from that body. But we will fight and we will advocate for that additional funding because it is our constitutional responsibility, their constitutional responsibility. But I'm also approaching it pragmatically and understand the reality of what that environment is. We're on the front line in the city of Philadelphia fighting for these babies because most of them up there can care less, to be quite frank with you, unless you're from the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding area. And some folks may be in the counties, to be quite frank with you. But I'm going to turn it over to Majority Leader Gilmore Richardson to wrap us up. We're going to have a brief, we're not going to do an hour-long lunch today because the public is here. And I expect all this energy that's here will also be here to listen to what these public individuals who took their time out of their schedule to come down here to say. Majority Leaders, take us home.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Council President. And first, thank you to Rob DeVoe and to Dr. Deb Carrera and the additional representatives from the administration, as well as our school board chair, Reginald Streeter, and Dr. Watlington and your team at the school district. I requested your presence here today at this hearing to respond to a financial question that was posed by Councilmember Curtis Jones relative to the school district budget that the administration was unable to respond to. And I felt that it was unfair for us to have this debate in the public forum without having that information as requested. And so I requested you all to be here. I appreciate you coming. I understand that you're going to be with us tomorrow, but I wanted to ensure we could have a full conversation today since we were unable to get the financial question answered from the administration. And I did mention the CFO, so I didn't say anybody specific. I just want to be clear that I didn't ask for anyone specific outside of the CFO who could answer, and I wanted to put that on the record. I also wanted to state for the record, and this data comes from the District Quarterly School Manager Report, that from fiscal year 21 to fiscal year 26, City Council has increased our contribution to the School District of Philadelphia by $513,602,000 since over FY21 to FY26. I wanted to put that on the record because that is an important figure to state for the auspices of this conversation. I'll end with this question because of the time frame we have this week. We are meeting with you all tomorrow. I understand that you all are scheduled to vote on the facilities plan at the Thursday meeting. I am formally and officially requesting of you, Board Chair Streeter, and also Dr. Watlington, in the presence of the officials from the administration, that you commit to us on record to move that facilities vote to either the 4/23, April 23rd action meeting or the May 28th action meeting of the school board and the School District of Philadelphia. Are we able to receive that commitment as we continue to deliberate the facts and the figures of this plan, as well as the other information that has been presented that we have been unable to give full and complete answers to?
May I have the dates again, please?
Yes, the dates are, you have an upcoming action meeting on April 23rd as well as May 28th.
And what was the request?
And the request is that you not vote on the facilities plan this Thursday, but commit to moving that vote to either the 4/23 action meeting or the 5/28 action meeting to allow City Council the opportunity to deliberate on all of the information that has been presented, as well as continue to get the answers to the questions that we have that were presented today around the tax bills. And that would be Bill 260202, 260203, 260204, 260205, 260206, 260208, and 260209.
Today I'm not prepared or even empowered to even answer that question. We are a board as well, so I'll have, obviously, I know this question is going to come up tomorrow, and I'll be ready to respond tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Council President.
So for the record, tomorrow you'll report back is the 2 dates requested will be even approved or not approved based upon your discussion with your board members, correct?
As the board president of the Philadelphia Board of Education, I will testify tomorrow and respond and answer that question.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We will be back at 1:35 on a brief break.
Heard. And then how can we make sure that Philadelphia looks its best and puts its best foot forward, not just for the company that's coming, but for the civic pride, for the richness that comes when our residents can see the city around them blossoming and burgeoning.
Yes.
And that work already started when Mayor Parker came into term.
Absolutely.
And now we're doubling down and accelerating some of that for the 250th.
Yes, nice. I love the way you put that because Mayor Parker walked in with that exact agenda, unrelated to 2026. Right. The work and the preparation for 2026 just serves as an accelerator for it, which I think we should take full advantage of that.
And it's been exciting, right? Over the next few months, you will be seeing some incredible beautification schemes, right? Just imagine the front gates to our city, the highways, areas where we know we travel every single week, driving through and out, and then our visitors are going to be coming in as the front door.
Yeah.
And remember, for so many visitors who will be visiting Philadelphia, this could be their first gateway into the United States of America. One of the things I love most as we think about 2025 was when we hosted the FIFA Club World Cup. If you had the great privilege of seeing so many countless fans from across countries in Love Park, bedizened with their team's colors, across, everyone had such a sense of pride, such a joy. And what we want to do in the 250th is not just have discrete events where that spirit is really blossoming, but connect the dots across them, right? Connect the dots.
I can feel you coming out of your chair as you talk about it. I love it.
Yeah, we're going to connect the dots and, through those, create a beautiful narrative about who Philadelphia is and the richness of what does it mean to feel brotherly love and sisterly affection.
Absolutely. Okay, so if I asked you to whisper it.
Of course.
Could you tell us something in particular that maybe not everybody knows is going to happen in 2026?
One thing,
you can say no.
Yeah, there's one thing I'm really excited about.
Okay.
Because I'm a big
I won't tell anyone.
proponent of youth mentorship and about how can we make sure that the youth, especially as we think about celebrating the 250th, are reminded that they have a place and agency in shaping the future of our city and our world.
Love that.
We have been working with Mont Brown, Columbia Records executive, and a former recipient of the Key to the City to develop a groundbreaking program.
Okay.
It's called Sing That John.
Okay.
And it's going to put the voices of youth at the forefront of the conversation by literally giving them a platform where they can be seen, but not just about singing. How can we marry an interest that so many youth have with professional development? How can we add the professional development in a way that creates some career opportunities and remind individuals of the work and the grit and commitment and consistency it takes to turn passion into an actual career? So we're going to be sharing a lot more details about that in partnership with Dr. Carrera and the school district and others.
Yes.
But there's going to be so many additional acts to be announced. Because if you remember, one of the things that Mayor Parker did was commit over $120 million to ensure that we can deliver on this celebration in partnership with council. But included in them, we've invested in over 60 community partners. We are in really going to amplify so many voices and initiatives and bring them to the fold across the 250th to make sure that this is not a celebration that's built from the top down, but really from the neighborhood and the community level up.
Oh, awesome. So what should our residents be, where should they be going to get information about it? If I don't have, let's just say, access to an online platform, where can I find out all of the things that I'm going to be able to take the opportunity of enjoying in
Sure. There's
2026?
two different ways. I'll go digital and non-digital.
Thank you.
One thing is obviously phila.gov/2026 will be the one-stop shop for all the information.
Okay.
Calendar events and linking to full details on the events. Business resources, if you're a business, if you're a caterer, if you've got,
Gotcha.
if you want to have more skin in the game, there's a vendor interest form on that website where you can fill it out and make sure that you are being connected with procurement opportunities.
Okay.
There's going to be so much there. But we're also going to be sharing this information with our mini town halls that are dispersed throughout Philadelphia.
Okay.
And connecting in a way where you can walk in and just receive some
Wonderful.
paper information to read about what's happening. Because importantly, this celebration will not, as you mentioned, just live only downtown. To be clear, we're going to activate downtown in beautiful and really energizing ways, but we also want to make sure that we're spreading that spirit across equitably. So across every single council district, across all of Philadelphia, Mayor Parker is transforming not one, but 2 commercial corridors in each council district. Because we're going to make sure that we go to areas where they have been on the tips of receiving tourism dollars, or on the tips of receiving, just right on the cusp of it, and make sure that they're ready. And it was a really thoughtful process I'm so proud of that the Commerce Department led, right? Because we want to make sure that, one, does your neighborhood want tourism? Because not everyone does.
Sure, yes.
Educate you about if you receive it, here's what that includes. And then C, are you willing to, kind of do some of the work necessary to keep it?
Yeah.
If you've got a great business, a restaurant, let's say, on Google, you need at least 40 solid images just to register as a real listing.
Yeah.
That's why we're working with partners like Visit Philly and others to make sure that we can provide free digital assets.
Nice.
And we're working with the Commerce Department to double down on some of the incredible grant programs that already exist, like storefront improvements, to get our businesses ready. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait for you to see some of the beautification schemes.
No, I can't wait either.
It's going to really bring the celebration alive because nothing changes the mental quite like the visual.
Oh, agreed, yes. So just to be clear, some of the supports and opportunities that our business partners can take advantage of, all of those are coordinated through the 2026 website, or are there different spaces and places that folks would have to go?
So they're all linked to from the 2026
Perfect,
website.
yeah.
Obviously, 2026 is so much more than any one office or institution. It is an intergovernmental affairs collaborations. It's really beautiful. The Commerce Department is leading much of the business support service, as is Nadir Jones, is his office. But all that information is available on the 2026.
Very good. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. Anything else that you want to share with us about 2026, Philly 250?
I think one of the exciting things that people can do to really be a part of it is to come out, right? We saw during the Pope's visit, a lot of residents weren't sure what was happening. But whether it's a Thanksgiving table, whether it's a Super Bowl championship parade, so much of what makes an experience so memorable and incredible is not limited to the fireworks or the bunting on a stage.
Yes.
It's really about the people who are there,
Yes.
who have this shared experience. And throughout the 250th, Philadelphia is going to create this incredible suite of shared experiences precisely around that which brings us together. I mean, that's what sporting events are, right?
Right.
It's not just about the team, it's about the experience, it's about the tailgate too. And I'm so proud to say that even LA 28, the groups that are planning the Olympics, are even looking right now at the work happening in Philadelphia, particularly our groundbreaking model, but how we're spreading the superior celebration across neighborhoods to see if there's elements that they can incorporate even for the Olympics.
Okay. Well, Michael, I'll say that you are a great director and a great ambassador for all of this work that's happening around the city. So I'm grateful that we have you. I typically like to talk a little bit about something that's less work-related. Born and raised in Philadelphia?
I forgot that I had a life before 2026.
Yeah.
And the touch points do trace back to actually my father and grandmom are all here in Philadelphia. We would come out here as a kid frequently, but I was raised right across the bridge in Camden County. In
Oh, okay.
Voorhees.
Nice. So if I was to ask, hey, Michael, what's your favorite restaurant? Or if there was some place that, as a great ambassador, you said, hey, visitors, you need to kind of see this space, this place, enjoy this particular area. We know all of our areas and neighborhoods in Philadelphia are fantastic, but what kind of sticks out?
Things you see the entire neighborhood just come alive and come together.
Yeah.
And it's funny you asked that, because going back to my Visit Philly days, I was always conditioned never have a favorite.
Never have a favorite. That's
I tried
to come back from that because I heard it. Yeah.
But I think we learned even recently when Philadelphia welcomed the Michelin Awards, and we received more stars than our friends north, Boston, and our friends in the south, D.C., of brand new restaurants who are coming on board. That Philadelphia has a track record of bringing forth incredible cultural assets, amazing culinary offerings,
Yes.
and our history, right? The stories of antiquity still whisper from every cobblestone. But ultimately, the tie that binds all that together are people. And I think in the 250th, we're going to really celebrate the people of Philadelphia. I know that you're committed to doing that through our workforce, making
Yes.
sure that they are front and center and have opportunities to engage and participate. And I think that's something that's really exciting me, because it's something that I think other cities are going to see and say, that's the model.
Yeah, and I appreciate you mentioning that. We definitely have been working closely together to make sure that our workforce feels like this is a celebration of them as well. The city runs because of the great men and women and individuals that work within the city of Philadelphia.
It's been really inspiring to look at the photos from the records department
Yes.
and see the role in which Philadelphia's city workforce, the municipal workforce, have really built the city into where we are today in partnership with so many external organizations. But if you remove that missing link, we're not great city, the world-class city, the first World Heritage City that we are today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. This was fun. Again, very excited. Everyone can tell how much this means to you and how much work has already gone in.
Try to keep myself seated in the chair.
Yeah, next we might have to.
Strap me now.
Thank you for joining me and coming on. And again, we can't wait to see all the things that are going to unfold next year.
Thank you.
And into the future.
Thank you for your leadership.
All right. Well, ditto. All right. So that's it. I appreciate again everyone joining us and tuning in for Coffee Chat with the CAO, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
Speak the language for them in a way that gets through to them is something that you're going to need. No matter where you come from, you're going to improve your communication skills in this job. We're a very open office in terms of the space that we have. There will be times that we all just get into an impromptu conversation about food, things that we love about the city, but stuff like that really gets you through the day. You kind of need that balance to help keep you grounded. We have a variety of people in our team, people that are very technical, people that are very program-based, people that are new to the city, but also people that have been with the city for years and years. Everyone has something to add immediately from the get-go, and even people who I would say are at the height and experts of their field are still very humble and want to learn. No matter where you come from, your opinion is really respected. The city and the work that we do touches everything. If you can think of it, there's a department or there's an office that's dedicated to it. I am a very organized type A person. Being able to make different systems or files that we use to keep ourselves organized, and then seeing that it actually be used to help us work better is a very satisfying thing to me, because I immediately see the results of my work, and I like to know that I'm helpful to people. If you have a certain skill set, or if you have a certain cause that you are passionate about, chances are there's something that the city does that you can involve yourself in. You understand where you live, you understand the people, the historical context, and why things are the way they are. Because of all of that, you take pride in the work you do.
Every resident deserves a neighborhood and a home where people can have free of litter, trash, and debris. And they deserve a clean and safe community. We came up with the One Philly, a United City citywide cleanup that consisted of over 12 agencies. Mayor Parker wanted to show people what government could look like in terms of a clean environment and how we respond to those things.
The sanitation department was pleased and eager to be a part of the 13-week cleaning program that took place citywide. It gave us an opportunity to get on every single block and provide mechanical street cleaning, some hand detail cleaning with our brooms and backpack blowers and weed whackers.
The positive feedback we gained from the residents was outstanding. They were out there with us hand in hand, just giving their input, just showing their appreciation for us coming through the neighborhoods. I think they were real grateful and the program was a success.
The Department of Streets played a pivotal role in the 13-week program, bringing Mayor Parker's vision to life. During this period, our team filled over 15,000 potholes and converted over 19,000 streetlights to LEDs.
FIT's role in the Clean and Green initiative is to clean vacant lots, to clean graffiti removal, and also to clean the exteriors of properties.
L&I has been out there for the whole 13 weeks, hand in hand with our city partner agencies, and we have been writing violations for that nuisance property that you never think that anyone's going to get to. We're going out to houses that have been vacant on your block for years and years sometimes, and we're cleaning them out, we're sealing them up.
The School District of Philadelphia is aligning with Mayor Parker's One Philly, a united citywide cleaning and greening program. The district's Emergency Response Team, or ERT, handles lawn maintenance, hedge trimming, weed whacking, trash and debris cleanup, and graffiti removal on all of our 250 properties.
We enjoy cleaning up our community. That's the main thing. Making sure we clean up the community, making sure we clean up, the routes and the streets, and just trying to keep, build up your community.
We're really excited to be a part of the 13-week Clean and Green initiative. It gave us an opportunity to go to a lot of our recreation centers and prioritize work orders, do tree maintenance, do deep cleaning, stripping and waxing floors, cleaning vents.
Our involvement with this initiative is to intentionally target systems that fall in line with the other agencies and their goals. We are an environmental sustainability unit. We focus on the aesthetics and functionality of green stormwater infrastructure systems that impact the citizens of Philadelphia.
PHS is really proud to be part of Mayor Parker's Clean and Green vision and the 13-week cleaning effort. And so being part of this effort has given us a chance to welcome lots of partners into that work. We work together in a new way to make sure not only the 13,000 lots we care for, but every single lot, every single block in the city is clean and green and beautiful for its residents.
The best part of this was actually the spirit of cooperation between multiple agencies. And Neighborhood Services was able to work with Philadelphia Parking Authority, Sanitation Department, and community teams from each police district. And it was very satisfying. We were able to make it better for the residents.
There were people in this section of the city, especially immigrant businessmen, felt that nobody was listening to them, nobody was looking at them, and nobody was helping them to get resources to improve their businesses.
My name is Mariam Tajidin. I'm the supervisor for the cleaning crew.
Well, my name is Musa Trawale. I'm the administrator for the Commercial Corridor Management Team. We represent the African Cultural Alliance.
For me, you know what? I just start this job. So just starting to build trust. Build trust with the business people first before you do everything. Because to work with them, you have to have all the information. You have to open a conversation. You have to know many things about them. And if you they don't trust you, they will not be able to give you all the information for you to be able to help them.
My relationship with Akana and Miriam Musa has been very good since I've been at this location. They've been helping me with growing, getting finances, and things that I need to help grow my business. I can make a phone call. They're always there for me with communication things, with business needs.
For people know you is a little bit tough, but you have to give business some time because the business has to grow up. My name is Abdurrahman Job. I'm from Mauritania. I'm here in Philadelphia from '94. Africans one part. The people don't know African food. Everybody go to McDonald's After they taste the African food, they know everybody run to the African food. Mariam and Musa, they come in here, tell me, Papa, we need to make a restaurant. More people come in, and in store we got more people, because over here, we got even people coming to the New York, New Jersey, DC, and Maryland. They love the food.
Area is now being branded as Africa Town simply because there's a huge population of immigrant and non-immigrant as well as African American living in this section of the city, and the community is very excited to brand this area as Africa Town. If you work with people for 6 years and you have given them some deliverables in terms of resources, in terms of connecting them to opportunities in the city of Philadelphia, you establish that relationship that is ongoing. And when they need something in their store, they know where to call, they know who to call. If you're intending to be an entrepreneur, reach out to the African Cultural Alliance of North America. They will be able to help you. Resources that include business plan, business coaching, resource connection. If you're looking for a storefront, can share with folks who are interested to become entrepreneurs.
What if one ID card could open more doors and give you access across Philadelphia? That's exactly what the PHLCD ID does. It's your key to the city. Every Philadelphian deserves access. As the 6th largest city in the nation, Philadelphia takes pride in supporting everyone who calls our city home. The PHLCD ID makes identification accessible to everyone, especially for residents who face challenges getting other forms of ID. With a PHLCD ID, you can access libraries, recreation centers, city programs, schools, and more, all with only one card. And through partnerships, the PHLCD ID offers exclusive discounts and benefits to ID holders. Our team takes pride in delivering excellent service to every person who walks through our doors, because every Philadelphia resident deserves to feel seen, supported, and welcome. The application process is simple: $5 for teens, $10 for adults, and are free for residents 65 and older. Join the thousands of residents who've already claimed their key to the city. Visit us today at the Municipal Services Building across from City Hall, or find us at a mobile pop-up site across Philadelphia. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit phila.gov/PHLCDID and follow us at PHLCDID on Instagram for updates. Your key to the city awaits.
My name is Yolanda Lancaster. My current position that I hold is a community organizer inside of Action Center 4. I've been a city worker since 2017. I was able to come into this position through some other work and thought that I could be able to help others. We are able to help assist those neighbors that come in with different city issues or any type of issues that we're able to handle. If they have already spoke about the issue, we can help them expedite it. That's what we're here for, to help them, the people. Being able to help those that need the assistance and making sure that for myself that I can send the information to someone and I can follow through to make sure that it's been processed and helped for that particular issue. The first time that I was able to help someone with their issue that they had, they came in and needed help with eviction, and I was able to help them. For myself, also learning the process, being able to see it and execute it all the way to the end, and that she was excited that we were able to help with her landlord, and also she came in that same time, had lost some resources that she needed with her SNAP card. In the meantime, I connected with another organization and was able to have them drop off 4 containers of food for her. That made me smile. My job here has helped me grow for myself. It's taught me to be patient with others. It has also helped me to be able to take a moment to breathe and say what I'm thinking, use my words in a different manner that is able to be helpful to others. It's taught me patience, to make sure that they understand to be their authentic self and to remember to speak what they feel in a positive way, in a way that it can be said inside of a work office environment. And that they need to remember to have patience, and whatever that prayer is in the morning, that they do it before they walk out those doors. The most rewarding part has been the people that I was able to help. Whatever I had to do on the back end is nothing compared to the smiles and the thanks that you get after they receive the services that they came in for. Whether you had to work hard for it or not, is being able to know that they're happy because they got something, and you can say, I did my part. To see a smile on their face or the thank you that you receive on that text message or that phone call. And that's what I felt like I was here for.
Philly Stat 360 is an innovative program that is showing Philadelphians and anyone else all around the world how their government is performing in real time. We are using data in the city to show people how the government is working for them. We use data throughout the city to ensure that people are being able to see what their government is doing, when they're doing it, and how we're doing things.
Philly Stat 360 empowers residents by giving them a government that they can see, touch, and feel.
Our goal is making sure that our city government is working as efficiently and effectively as possible. And so we work with our departments to help them make sure that they all have performance measures, that they're tracking the work that they're doing, that we're making sure that we're reporting out to the public on all of our activities.
We have a dedicated team of business analysts and data analysts within the Philly Stat 360 team who take data from a variety of different sources within city government, and we put it all together in an easy-to-read graph or table so that people can actually see in real time how their government is performing.
We work to take that data and make them more than just numbers. In doing so, the citizens can see where their tax dollars are going, where they're able to compare their neighborhood to others. It really gives a realistic and holistic approach to the everyday lives of a citizen in the city.
You can look up information about a whole bunch of topics within city government, things from like crime and public safety to specific programs that are happening with regards to housing, quality of life, 311. You know, if you want to find out how many building permits are being issued in the city, we're a spot for you to go and look up stuff like that in an easy to digest format.
We are also incredibly receptive to what Philadelphians care about, so we encourage Philadelphians to go onto our website, enter their feedback, and tell us what data you want to see. If you want to see it, we will try to build it.
Hi, I'm Councilwoman Cindy Bass, and today I'm going to answer the internet's most searched questions about me. So these are questions for me. Where did Cindy Bass, let's see what it says, grow up? Well, if you know anything about Cindy Bass, you know that she grew up in North Philadelphia. I grew up at in the area of 28th and Allegheny. I was born in the neighborhood of 17th and Lehigh on Glenwood Avenue, 17th and Lehigh. And I'm a proud North Philadelphia native. Why does Cindy Bass want to become a council member? And I wanted to become a council member because I wanted to make change in my community. As I said, I grew up in North Philadelphia. I wasn't happy with my neighborhood. I wasn't happy with the debris, the trash, the lack of services, and I felt like I could do something about it. So that prompted me to run for Philadelphia City Council, just to be able to help our neighborhoods and to be able to expand the resources in communities, particularly those that are underserved. What is Cindy Bass's district composition? So the 8th district is very diverse. We run from Chestnut Hill, Mount Airy, Germantown, Nicetown, Tioga, part of Olney, part of Logan, part of West Oak Lane, part of Feltonville, and part of North Philadelphia. So, it's very diverse. We have people from all around the globe who live within the 8th district. It's African American, it's Caucasian, it's Hispanic, it's Asian, it's everything and everyone, and we're welcoming to everyone. Thank you. What is Cindy Bass's role as Deputy Majority Whip? So the role as Deputy Majority Whip is really a supportive role to work with the rest of council leadership to help whip up votes when necessary. When we have a vote that is contentious, the Deputy Majority Whip is working with the whip and with the majority leader and with the council president to secure the votes that we need to be able to get bills done and passed in a timely fashion. So that's the role of Deputy Majority Whip. What does community engagement mean to Cindy Bass? Well, I think community engagement is everything. If you really want to serve the people, you have to engage with them. You have to talk to them. You have to know what's happening. You have to show up. You have to be at community meetings, whether they're in person, whether they're on Zoom. You have to host events that welcome people in because you can't make it out to every single door as much as you would like to, 170,000 doors. So what we try to do is we try to host events that bring people in so that they have an opportunity. Hey, tell me what's happening, what's going on in your neighborhood, and how can we be of assistance to you? So I think that is real community engagement. What district issue is Cindy Bass hoping to address next? Well, for those who know me, you know that I've been working on nuisance businesses for a very long time. The fight continues. We've been working on this issue probably since 2015, 2016 with our first bill, the nuisance business bill. Then we did the stop and go legislation, and over the years we've done a whole lot more. We've done bills on catalytic converter theft, as you may recall. That was a big thing for a while, and we did a bill which basically made it impossible for you to exchange those materials for monetary gain here in the city of Philadelphia. So that dropped the rate of catalytic converter thefts by about 80%, 90% here in the city. And so we're continuing on. A lot of the work we do around nuisance businesses is really around, stores. A lot of the stores in our communities. These stores sell drug paraphernalia. We had one we went into that was selling drug paraphernalia, did not have a license to operate, did not have the proper requirements in terms of permits to complete the work that was necessary, whether it was electrical permits, plumbing permits that were needed. They were operating without a license. They were selling fake cigarettes. I mean, it was just a mess. They had about 11 different violations. And so these are the kind of businesses that I feel are very predatory in our community, and we are intent on reining them in. If they want to operate in compliance, we're all for that, but we will not tolerate bad businesses in our communities. Thank you.
pasaría si una sola tarjeta de ID pudiera abrirle más puertas y darle acceso a toda Filadelfia? Eso es exactamente lo que hace la Identificación Municipal de Filadelfia, su llave de acceso a la ciudad. Todos los residentes de Filadelfia merecen tener acceso. Como la sexta ciudad más grande del país, Filadelfia se enorgullece de apoyar a todas las personas que consideran a nuestra ciudad su hogar. La Identificación Municipal de Filadelfia permite que la identificación sea accesible para todos, especialmente en el caso de los residentes que tienen dificultades para obtener otras formas de identificación. Con la Identificación Municipal de Filadelfia puede acceder a bibliotecas, centros recreativos, programas de la ciudad, escuelas y mucho más, todo con una sola tarjeta. Además, a través de asociaciones, la Identificación Municipal de Filadelfia ofrece descuentos y beneficios exclusivos para los titulares del programa. Nuestro equipo se enorgullece de brindar un servicio excelente a cada una de las personas que cruzan nuestras puertas, porque todos los residentes de Filadelfia merecen que los vean, los apoyen y les den la bienvenida. El proceso de solicitud es simple. Las tarjetas cuestan $5 para los adolescentes y $10 para los adultos y son gratuitas para los residentes a partir de los 65 años de edad. Únase a los miles de residentes que han obtenido su llave de acceso a la ciudad. Visítenos hoy en el edificio de servicios municipales frente al ayuntamiento o encuéntrenos en un puesto móvil temporal en distintos lugares de Filadelfia. Para obtener más información o programar una cita, visite fila.gov/PHLCityID y siga a @PHLCityID en Instagram para ver las actualizaciones. Su llave de acceso a la ciudad lo espera.
Hi, my name is Tu Nguyen. I'm the Curator of Exhibitions and Programs with Creative Philadelphia. I've been here since 2003. Before I came here, I was at the African American Museum at Philadelphia. I have over 30 years of professional experience in the arts as an exhibiting artist, as a muralist, graphic artist. A friend of mine from the city had this program called Art in City Hall, and he asked me to manage the board at the time.
testimony. We are here today to hear from you about the city's proposed revenue measures. To ensure that there's an opportunity for all of you to be heard, certain ground rules have been established as follows. Your testimony should be about the city's proposed revenue adjustments. Once your name is called, you will have the opportunity to speak. In order to be fair to all those wishing to speak, we want to make sure that you stay within your time limit. Your limit will be a minute, right? We have a very, very extremely long public comment for this afternoon. We have a hard stop at 4, and if you need to come back tomorrow if your name isn't called, because we have a second session for public comment, that will actually happen. So I'm going to make sure we stick to the 1 minute limit, and please be mindful and respect the bell, because we want as many people as possible to have their public comment for the record today. Ms. Lawyer, please call the first person for public comment, please.
Julio Rodriguez, Jarrett Johnson, Barbara Shelley, and Latasha Wells can also make their way to the podium.
And we're going to do this also to make sure we continue to keep this process going. If a person's name is called and they are not here, we're going to go on to the next individual to keep the flow. Please state your name for the record and please begin. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How you doing?
Yes. Hello.
Like that button too. Pretty sharp. Please state your name for the record and begin.
Okay. Hello. My name is Barb Shelley. I live in the 5th Council District, and I am a member of Arch Street United Methodist Church in the 1st District. I'm here with Power Interfaith. I just want to speak on behalf of some of the younger adults that have made a home at our church. They are young adults with a passion for service and social justice. They are nurses, teachers, artists, the future of our city, and yet almost to a one, they question whether they have a future in this city because of the affordability issue. I do understand there's many pieces to the affordability puzzle, but you are the ones who get to decide who benefits from the city's tax policies and who gets hurt. Long term, if taxes are the best you can do this year to preserve essential jobs in the schools, then so be it. But taxes on Uber and Lyft rides and retail deliveries seem like a desperate, inadequate patch on a tear that will continue to widen without a bigger fix. So I join with Power Interfaith in calling for a tax structure that makes life better for ordinary people and doesn't impose additional burdens on them. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, sir. State your name for the record and please begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Jarrett Johnson. I am a lead transit organizer for Fiscal Advocacy and a member of Transit Forward Philadelphia. On behalf of Transit Forward Philadelphia, we want to see you support the transportation, the package delivery tax. This is important to me because it'll allocate funds for public transportation without impacting schools. It will invest in freedom and mobility, looking out for other students, and the city should invest in mobility and transit, making transit more affordable. And as a matter of fact, we have members that at Transit for Philadelphia that use public transportation. And I know someone who has a 10th grader in high school and she can't use her student pass beyond 8 p.m. or on the weekends. And it's also hard for her because she has to shell out money just so that she can get a ride. Doing this will make it easier for that woman or child. And like I said, it's also looking out for your friends, neighbors, and coworkers who use public transportation that are on low income and who work for the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please state your name for the record and please begin.
Good afternoon, members of council. My name is Latasha Wells, and I'm here today deeply concerned, as a deeply concerned community member and professional who witnessed the daily challenges of our unhoused population right here in Philadelphia. I'm standing before you to express my full and unwavering support for Mayor Parker's proposal on hotel tax. This isn't just about a policy or a percentage. It's about a necessary investment in dignity and safety of our neighbors. In my line of work, I see the human face homelessness every day. We aren't just talking about statistics. We are talking about families, veterans, and individuals who are often one crisis away from losing everything. Currently, our shelters are stretched thin, and our resources for transition services are at a breaking point. When we fail to provide adequate support, the cost is felt by everyone in our public spaces, in our healthcare systems, and mostly important, in the lives of those left in the cold. The beauty of the specific tax is sustainably by leveraging the tourism in a hospitality sector, we can generate a dedicated, consistent stream of revenue that goes directly toward expanding shelter capacity, ensuring no one has to be turned away on a freezing night. Wraparound services, providing the mental health and addiction resources that are vital for long-term stability. Rapid rehousing, helping people move from a cot to a front door of their own. If this passes into a bill, the benefit will be visible. We will see cleaner, safer streets, but more importantly, we will see a Philadelphia that takes care of its own. It sends a message that we welcome visitors to our hotels. We use their growth to enter. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, thank you.
Boy, don't touch nobody like that, boy.
Next, we have R.K. Williams, Peter Ahn, Mimi Ijima, David
Thank you, Ms. Wells.
Katzenhorst, Deborah Klur, and Brianna January.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Christopher R.K. Williams.
Christopher, could you pull the microphone up a little closer to you, sir?
This fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is Christopher R.K. Williams. I'm one of the Philadelphia residents from the North Philadelphia District for District 5. Lived here all my life and a business owner. I come before this government today to see, excuse me 1 second, I know I got a minute. These taxes that you're putting on, these tax cuts y'all taking off. In my neighborhood, the neighborhood I grew up in North Philly, I'm watching schools close down. Everything y'all doing is going to the people who are hurts here. Now, I'm a business owner at the same time, even though I had to deal with homelessness, whatever, and even though I had to overturn a case. The guys that I employed that are transients, they can't even fund a room, and y'all gonna make more taxes than where they can't, like, it's $7.25 an hour. And what I'm saying is the fact that if y'all gonna do this and y'all gonna have all these taxes, make it affordable for the people who are working. Y'all making these big corporations get over on it? No, stop that. If you're gonna tax them to help us. Tax them to help the little people. Every day I walk around here in my own city, the one that we all say y'all love, and I'm one of y'all business, I'm a small business owner, and I can't even afford most of the stuff I can because y'all taxes are too high. And I can't even keep the people employed that are trying to do themselves. And, like, what y'all doing? That's my question. What are y'all doing? And I'm just part of the community. Thank you for your services. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, council members. My name is Peter Ahn. I live in Germantown, council district number 8. I speak as a part of Power Interfaith, but also I've been working closely with APIPA. In the past year, I've had many firsts. I received a phone call from an unhoused and undocumented friend, a mother with a U.S.-born daughter from a homeless shelter. They didn't know where to go, what to do, because they were getting threats that they were going to call ICE on them. My friends and I also housed unhoused friends, rotating house by house weekly, and I know your job is not easy, and I wish I had more time to tell you other things. I know that in the federal budget, we've seen the largest transfer of wealth from the bottom to the top, increasing 42% of budget in military. We always seem to have enough money to borrow to kill people, but not enough to feed people or house people. I think there's some choice happening here, especially when we cut taxes from wages, big businesses, more taxes for Uber, which is for everyday Philadelphians.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is David Tatkenhorst. I'm a pastor, retired. I live in Jamie Gautier's district, proudly, and see her running a lot. She's good. And we're glad the city's considering new taxes. We're just worried as in power that they fall so much on poor and working people. And we have to figure out alternatives. A public bank would be a really good alternative. It's a real possibility that we keep our money in ways that we can use it for ourselves rather than have it go to big banks outside of Philadelphia. We think that we're cutting down BERT. There's ways that we can be continuing to tax the corporate class and have money coming more from wealthy people and less from poor and working people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Mimi Ujima, and I live in West Philly, Council District 3. I am with Power Interfaith and here to talk about taxes. Most West Philly houses are big Victorians, too big for our small family. So when we bought in the Penn Alexander catchment, we got a multifamily. We kept the first floor as a rental, and we live in a separate apartment on the upper floors. Our house was the ugliest house on the block. It needed tons of work. Our rental helped with renovation costs and helped us afford a good school in a pricey area. Our neighborhood's popularity, however, resulted in our property tax more than doubling in 2025. It shot up 114%. Our house was lumped together with surrounding rental properties. We were grouped with investors who care most about making money, and they chop up their buildings into many units to generate as much revenue as possible. But the city didn't care that our rental income is much smaller, and the city didn't care that our property is our family home. We keep the rent below market rate so that our tenants can save for the house of their own. It's really hard to save. We raise the rent only after they leave, and in our 22 years as homeowners and landlords, we've never raised the rent on a tenant. However, the bigger property taxes may change things. Right now, I am worried about the couple who have been living with us for the last 4 years. Last year, the wife lost her job and has serious health issues. I want to look out for my tenants, but the city is making it hard. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, esteemed council. Brianna January with DoorDash in respectful opposition to the proposed retail delivery tax. DoorDash is proud of our work and impact in Philadelphia, but we're concerned that the proposed delivery tax will hurt all aspects of the DoorDash community in the city, consumers, small businesses, and our drivers. In 2024, we worked with thousands of local merchants, 85% of whom were small businesses, delivering thousands of everyday essentials to Philly households, about 70% of which went directly to residents in low-income neighborhoods. Additionally, we partner with several local city nonprofits to reduce food waste and help feed the city's most vulnerable residents. Council, the proposed delivery tax hurts all of this. Increased prices will make everyday essentials less affordable for the city's most vulnerable residents, and thousands of small businesses on our platforms will also suffer with fewer and smaller orders and ultimately less business. Lastly, fewer and smaller deliveries mean decreased earning potential for drivers, and consumer behavior shows that tips are the first to be cut. I'll leave you with this. Just last week, a poll was released on this very proposal. The findings were telling. 85% of Philly voters say a delivery tax will harm their communities. 67% oppose the delivery tax, and 3/5 said that they would not support policymakers that approve of a delivery tax. Council, these are your voters, your friends, your neighbors. They know that this is not right for Philly. DoorDash stands ready to work with the council for other proposals, and we look forward to our continued collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms.
Next,
Lawyer,
we have
please
Mai Mixick, Hope Ledford, Dan Urovic Acklesberg, Rosa Parks Green, Angeline Jefferson, and Ed Gross.
Good afternoon. My name is Mai Mixick. I'm the Deputy Director of Policy for Children First. I'm here to read the testimony of Dr. James Parrott. He is an economist who focuses on the ride-shared industry. He wanted to be here today but could not, so I'm reading his testimony. For the past 8 years, I have worked with several state and local governments across the country analyzing rideshare and gig economy services. Based on my analysis, the rideshare industry and my understanding of the economics of the industry and the performance of its leading companies, I think there is merit in the mayor's proposed $1 rideshare tax. The pure economics do not suggest an adverse effect on passengers. Over 50 jurisdictions across the country impose a sales tax on rideshare services. In Washington, D.C., it is a 7.25% rate, and in New York City, it is an 8.875 rate. The significant market power wielded by the two major rideshare companies in Philadelphia means that they determine what they charge passengers. In recent years, algorithmic pricing, also called upfront pricing model, determines what they charge passengers and matches them with the lowest paid drivers in their area. That means it has nothing to do with time or distance. Upfront pricing was introduced in 2022, and since then, passenger fares have continued to rise, driver pay has continued to fall, and Uber and Lyft profits have soared. For 2025, Uber's revenues increased by 18%, with net profits rising 32%. All right. He would be happy to meet with every single one of the council members to answer your technical questions about how Uber and Lyft opaque pricing actually harms every rider in this city.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Hope Ledford, Director of Civic Innovation Policy at Chamber of Progress. I'm here in respectful opposition to the rideshare and delivery taxes. Both would impose regressive new costs on Philadelphians who already have the least affordable options. First, the rideshare tax hits short, necessary trips the hardest, like rides to work, to school, or to a medical appointment. For seniors, people with disabilities, and working families, rideshare is often not a luxury. It is how they get to where they need to go. The delivery tax would also impose a new per-order delivery tax on another service that families rely on every day. Its exemptions are much narrower than they appear. A single non-exempt item, like dish soap or paper towels, can trigger the tax for an entire order. 44% of voters have personally relied on delivery because of a disability, injury, sickness, or mobility issue, and 50% know someone who regularly does. Philadelphia can and should focus on funding schools and infrastructure, but not by taxing access, mobility, and hurting affordability. I respectfully urge you to oppose both taxes.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, council members, for having me. My name is Dan Urovic Acklesberg. I'm an attorney at the Public Interest Law Center and litigated the school funding case that everyone talks so much about. I'm here in support of bills 260208 and 260205, which provide, as you know, an estimated $50 million in recurring revenue for the district, which it needs because we are facing an imminent crisis. The district, we didn't win that case because the district is spending too much. We won because they are spending too little. Many members of this body fought for years to ensure that when the district did have resources to invest, it concentrated them in the communities that have suffered the most from systemic disinvestment. And that investment over the years is what is now at risk. The schools that are going to be hardest hit by these cuts are places like McDaniel, Rhodes, Munoz Marin, Elkin. They're going to lose reading specialists in the middle of a citywide literacy crisis. They're going to lose counselors and climate staff in the long tail of the gun violence crisis of a century. I know that you all face tough decisions. The children of this city, however, don't have a giant monopolistic corporation's ability to flood this building with lobbyists or to blanket our phones with attack ads. But what the children of this city do have is all of you, who can be counted on to stand up for their dignity, their future, and their potential. Thank you very much.
You didn't hear Isaiah Thomas earlier speaking on behalf of the kids of Lincoln?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
But
I hear
I
you,
don't.
sir.
Yeah.
Good. Mr. Gross. State your name for the record, Ed, and please begin. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, too. Ed Gross, last name spelled G-R-O-S-E. I'm with the Greater Philadelphia Hotel Association. Good afternoon, Council President Johnson, Majority Leader Gilmore Richardson, and all members of the City Council. My name is Ed Gross. I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Philadelphia Hotel Association. The Greater Philadelphia Hotel Association, alongside the Pennsylvania Convention Center, Visit Philadelphia, the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association, and the PHLCVB, stands in full support of Mayor Parker's goal to end street homelessness in Philadelphia. While the objective of adding 1,000 beds with wraparound services is vital, funding the city initiative through a targeted tax on the hospitality sector alone jeopardizes our city's economic competitiveness and puts thousands of local jobs and existing tax revenues at risk. The hospitality and tourism industry is a primary economic engine for Philadelphia, generating $13.4 billion in economic impact. Hotels are already one of the city's most heavily taxed industries. Beyond standard property, wage, net profits, and business income and receipts taxes, we are responsible for use and occupancy tax, net profit, sugar-sweetened beverage, and liquor by the drink taxes. This is in addition to an array of specific municipal fees ranging from commercial trash and valet parking permits to specialized fire damper inspections. If this proposed tax increase is enacted, Philadelphia's total hotel tax will rise from 16.25% to 18.25%. This would make Philadelphia the most expensive major city for travelers on the East Coast, surpassing Baltimore at 17.39%, Boston at 16.85%, Washington, D.C. at 15.9%, and New York City at 14.76%. Philadelphia is currently in a high-stakes environment for attracting national and international events and conventions. I got cut off. Just when I was getting started, okay. This tax would make Philadelphia less competitive in relation to other peer cities and could trigger cancellation clauses in existing convention agreements that are tied to changes in financial terms. Hospitality supports more than 76,000 local jobs, accounting for 10% of all employment by city residents. I'd also like to point out that 80% of our team members are Philadelphia residents. A targeted tax increase on the hospitality industry places thousands of workers across every zip code in Philadelphia at risk.
Gross. Just summarize the ending.
Okay, I'll summarize
Pass
the
your
ending.
time.
To summarize, we support the mayor fully in her efforts. And matter of fact, we applaud her for tackling such a difficult problem when it would be easier just to ignore it. We're on her side on this one, with the exception of how to pay for it. Because we feel other industries and other entities benefit from the very problem that we have in the hospitality industry.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Rosa Parks Green, and I am here with Children First as a proud board member and advocate for children. I am testifying in support of the mayor's proposal to raise $50.4 million. Today, the district faces a $300 million structural deficit following the end of federal pandemic relief funds. This shortfall has serious consequences. The district is forced to cut 340 school-based positions, leave central offices roles unfilled, and reduce critical contracts. It is projected that schools across this district could lose up to 149 teachers, 120 climate staff, and potentially 23 counselors. These students cannot afford to do more with less. These roles are essential to student success. The mayor's proposal will bring $50.4 million in reoccurring funding to schools and preserve the 340 positions that will otherwise be cut. This investment directly benefits students and families in every single district. I urge you to support new revenue solutions, including the rideshare bill, and oppose any reductions to school funding. All students deserve safe, supportive, and well-resourced learning environments. Please act now.
Thank you very much. Please state your name and begin.
Yes, Angeline Jefferson, President Johnson, and esteemed members of the City Council. I am testifying on behalf of Lyft in opposition to the proposed rideshare tax ordinance. We recognize the seriousness of the school district's funding deficit, and we share this council's commitment to Philadelphia students, but this ordinance, a $1 per ride tax on all trips originating in Philadelphia, on top of the existing 1.4% excise fee riders already pay, is not the right solution. It will impose real hardship on Philadelphians, riders, drivers, and the broader local community without resolving the deficit it claims to address. This measure has been characterized as a progressive tax, suggesting the wealthy will bear most of the burden. We strongly disagree. This tax falls hardest on those who can least afford it. An estimated 61% of rideshare rides in Philadelphia begin or end in low-income areas. 94% of Lyft drivers hold other jobs or are enrolled as students. These riders and drivers depend on every dollar of earnings and depend on consistent ride volume to earn. When a tax-driven fare causes riders to reduce their trips, drivers absorb those losses directly. This ordinance would reduce earning opportunities for the very constituents this council aims to support, and it will not solve the underlying problem. The revenue that this tax would generate falls far short of what is needed to make a meaningful dent in the school district's budget gap. Relying on one industry with a per-ride tax is not a sustainable or equitable funding strategy. It shifts the burden onto everyday riders, while the underlying fiscal challenge remains unsolved. We respectfully but strongly urge this council to vote no on this ordinance. Thank you for the opportunity to share our perspective and contribute to this important discussion.
Thank you for your testimony. Ms. Lawyer, please call the next panel.
Fran G. Poso, Donna Cooper, Priyanka Reyes-Cora, Matt Colliar, Barbara Shelley, and Heidi Ramirez.
How you doing, Donna? Always good to see you. Just state your name for the record and go ahead and please begin, or whoever wants to begin, please state their name for the record and please begin.
Hi, my name is Franji. I'm a resident of the 8th District, future parent, community member, and Lyft Uber rider. I'm in support of the rideshare and cell tower taxes, as they are both an investment in the 1,098,000 Philly school students across the district. The reality is federal funds are no longer available, yet kids still need their counselors, their teachers, and their climate staff. I'm hearing from parents across the district already being given the news of the teachers that are going to be cut, the climate staff, as well as their counselors, and how their kids are worried about what does that mean for their favorite teacher. Some kids show up and they go to their teachers from past grades because they're so excited of the support they offered them, and they want support for their future peers as well. So I'm in favor of this bill because this is currently our only option that I'm seeing.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Donna Cooper. I'm a resident in Councilman Young's district. Rideshare companies are projected to make $1 billion in rideshare trips in Philadelphia alone this year. In fact, it may be over that. Last year, they ended with $898 million in revenue from rides that originated in Philly. I support both of the taxes because they tax billion-dollar corporations. And let me say that again, they tax corporations that are currently valued at $140 billion for Uber and $5 billion for Lyft. The CEOs and the owners of these rideshare companies are among the wealthiest 0.01% of all Americans. They can afford to pay for the future of our children. This council has been a champion for kids and low-income families, and it's why I hold this council in great respect. Uber and Lyft are implementing a six-figure, twisted PR campaign trying to argue this is a regressive tax. The real regressive policy is cutting school counselors from low-income schools to spare billion-dollar corporations from paying taxes. Change the narrative, support this tax, and demand that Uber and Lyft stop bilking Philadelphians by agreeing to pay the dollar per ride on the billion they make off of Philadelphians. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Priyanka Reyes-Cora with Children First and a proud resident of District 2. I'm here today to urge City Council to pass the Mayor's proposed rideshare tax as the bare minimum new revenue that our public schools need this year. Philadelphia students have already endured enough disruption. They've lived recently through a global pandemic that upended their learning and their well-being. With the help of federal relief funding, they're finally beginning to recover. Attendance in our district is improving, academic progress is rising, and schools are regaining stability. But that progress is now at risk. Our students are on the brink of another wave of disruption with school closures, relocations, and uncertainty. And at the moment when they need consistency the most, we're preparing to take it away. City Council, you have the power and the responsibility to prevent that. For decades, the school district of Philadelphia has been chronically underfunded. As the Education Policy Director at Children First, I spend a lot of time in Harrisburg advocating for the state to pay their fair share, and we've secured millions in the last 2 years for the schools. But the state is not the only entity responsible for funding our schools. The City Council, you must also help the city do its part. 340 school-based staff positions are at risk of being cut, and these are not abstract numbers. These are the teachers, counselors, and climate staff who our kids see every day. They build relationships with our kids. These are the people who ensure that mental health and mental well-being and stable learning can occur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matt Collier. I am a professional macroeconomist, and I'm here to voice support for the ride-hailing tax in Mayor Parker's budget proposal. So, as mentioned before, a lot of cities across the country, globally really, but across the country most relevantly, have proposed or have adopted similar versions of a policy like this. So there's enough economic literature out there to study the effects that matter most to Philadelphia. And I read that so you don't have to. And the results or the questions that will be most pertinent are how much does ride volume actually reduce when any kind of small per ride tax like $1 is implemented in the city. And the results there are, there's some variation in coefficients across each study, but generally what we're looking at is a minor reduction in some small short trips, discretionary trips, off-peak hours, there's some reduction there. But in general, that is something we consider pretty inelastic, because what happens is comparatively...
Taking me back to econ class, bro.
I'm usually allergic to jargon, but there's no way around inelasticity here. So what we're talking about is a not proportional reduction in demand for a price increase. There's not a million ways or an infinite number of ways that a city can generate revenue in that kind of fashion, and this is a policy that can. It's been tested throughout the country, and that's why I'm here to voice my support.
Thank you very much. State your name for the record, please begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Bianca Reyes, and I am the proud principal of Julia de Burgos Elementary School in North Philadelphia in the 7th Council District.
We see you tonight. We'll be at there for our budget town hall.
I am here today not only for my own school community, but in solidarity with my principal colleagues, other school leaders, teachers, and all school district of Philadelphia personnel, because we are all facing the same challenges, and we are all part of the village that is supposed to care for and protect our children. At Julia de Burgos, we believe that a child's zip code should never determine their destiny. We serve a student body that is 85% Latino, with 36.6% of our students receiving special education services and 35% receiving English language support. Our students need resources, opportunity, and caring adults around them. Instead, next year we're losing an ESOL teacher, 3 general ed teachers, and 2 climate staff members. These are not extras, these are essentials. One cut means 66 sixth grade students split into 2 classrooms, 33 children in each room. How can students get the attention they deserve? How can teachers prepare them for high school and to imagine any future that they deserve? We are also losing climate staff, the people who help keep children safe, build relationships, and de-escalate conflict daily. In a community impacted by poverty, trauma, and the opioid crisis, we need more support, not less. This is why I support Mayor Cherelle Parker's proposed $1 rideshare tax to restore positions and create lasting revenue for public education. Do not ask our children to dream big while funding them small. Thank you.
Next, we have Arthur Steinberg, Elena Lynn, Sarah Bradley, Shirley Howe, Jonathan Hoffmeyer, and Margaret Durkin.
Hello, Mr. Steinberg. Just say your name for the record and please begin.
High-tech stuff is difficult for me, you know that.
It's all right.
Good afternoon, Council President Johnson and members of the Committee of the Whole. My name is Arthur Steinberg. I am the president of the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. I am here today to testify in support of Bill number 260208 with amendments and Bill number 26025. TFT does represent more than 14,000 educators who work in the school district of Philadelphia. I'm going to try and keep to the minutes, so I'm going to skip through parts of it. Mayor Parker's proposed $1 rideshare tax and adjusted UNO tax on telecom corporations are fair, reasonable, and necessary to raise $50.4 million towards addressing the school district's $300 million structural deficit and saving 340 school-based positions, which will be cut if these tax bills aren't passed. I admit I am amazed to be testifying before you on these bills today. It's incredible that amid a severe educator staff shortage in the school district, we're talking today about cutting positions, not adding positions. Our schools have been seriously short-staffed for years, and yet we are here today begging to save the jobs of 340 teachers, counselors, climate staff, and more. Before I go on, I would be remiss if I did not thank council for their fierce advocacy for education over the years, including the advocacy for stopping the school closures right now. We thank you and appreciate for that. It is imperative that council act immediately to pass these bills, save 340 school-based positions, and keep district educators assured that their positions and school locations will be intact next year. I am afraid that we do not, it will exacerbate the teacher shortage and incentivize educators to leave the system and kids, which will then, of course, affect the funding we receive. Our kids are more than worth this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please begin. Say your name. Please begin.
Hello, my name is Elena Lynn. I am a constituent of Councilperson Cindy Bass in the 8th District. I am also a proud parent at Lingelbach, which is a K-8 school in Germantown. I have a 3rd grader and a rising kindergartner who will join next fall. I'm also an educator who was inspired by my own dedicated public school teachers. I was raised by a low-income single mom in unstable housing, and my life was saved by public schools and other public services. I am here to support the rideshare and cell phone tower tax. I recognize the burden that these taxes could put on the lives of Philly residents who need to supplement our inadequate public transit system. But removing caring adults from schools burdens the very same people. I feel strongly that Philly must invest in our young people by providing stable schools. We heard from a representative from Lyft today who expressed concern about the low-income residents in Philadelphia, so I would welcome and encourage them to absorb the tax as they can afford to do. We, in District 8, stand to lose a number of teachers and support staff, and Lingelbach could be considered lucky to only face one teacher being moved. But the story of this one teacher shows how important every single caring adult is. He is our beloved first grade teacher, the only black male teacher in the entire school of a majority black school. His own children attend our school. And as one parent said, this is her
that's
only
a shame in itself. Just to
it's her son's only chance to be taught by a black male teacher. So I just want to say we should not see these taxes as costs. Investing in our schools and providing students with stable schools, caring adults who are there year after year, that is how young people learn, and we know this. Also, this sends the message to our kids that we care about them. When they attend schools where they lose their teachers and their buildings are inadequate, they receive the message that their community does not care for them. So please, I urge council to show our young people that we do care by passing this tax and searching for more funding. Their future is our future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Hoffmeyer. I'm here to speak to support the Bill 260-208 and identify investments directly to what's happening in our schools. The proposed rideshare tax is a smart local solution that asks those who benefit from our city's infrastructure to help invest in the future of our students. This is not just about closing a budget gap. It's about protecting opportunities, programs, and communities. But funding alone is not enough if we turn around and approve a facilities plan that repurposes the very schools that we're trying to support. When we approve to fund schools, we should be not closing successful schools and supportive programs that work. So the question becomes, why invest in education on one hand and dismantle it with the other? If we pass this task, we must also commit to keeping schools like Lincoln and Roberson open, because real investment means stability, it means consistency, it means believing that our students deserve both resources and a place to learn, grow, and lead. We should be aligning policy with purpose, fund our schools, and protect our schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarah Bradley. I'm a student at CCP, a mother, and a full-time worker. I'm here to speak on the taxes. I believe that we pay enough. But if we're going to push package delivery and other taxes, we need to make sure the money goes back to the city, to our students, to our tuition drop, zero fare program. I'm tired of us paying taxes and it never going back to the people who need it most. The city needs help funding our schools, transportation, and safety. I plead with you today, if you're truly going to tax, to be bringing it back to the community. I'm all with it. But please listen to what we are saying and what we are asking for with these taxes so that we can keep pushing for a city and a better future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shirley Howe. I work at Children First, and I also live at 309 Bryn Mawr Avenue in Balakinwood, 3 blocks from the City Avenue corridor. I'm here today in support of the rideshare fee bill, number 260-208. I represent a community inextricably linked to the success of the City of Philadelphia, where rideshare services are widely used. Let us do our share to support the Philadelphia public schools where our friends and neighbors send their children. They deserve the very best, and it's our obligation to help deliver it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Margaret Durkin. I'm the Mid-Atlantic Executive Director for TechNet, a tech trade association. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity today to share our concerns on the $1 rideshare tax and the 25-cent delivery fee. I submitted written remarks for the records, and similar to prior speakers, we are concerned both about the rideshare tax as well as the delivery fee. Due to its unintended consequences of driving up prices for consumers, we believe that the rideshare tax will prevent people from using rideshares to get to work, the doctor, or other places usually inaccessible without a TNC. On delivery, we are concerned about mixed baskets, specifically if exempt item is mixed with a non-exempt item and how that tax will work. Our neighbors in states such as Maryland, New York State, and New York City, as well as Virginia, have rejected similar delivery proposals. Happy to take any questions, and thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Miles Owen, Jigar Mehta, Rachel Garnick, Stephen Bronskill, Alexander Malone, and Eden McDougall.
State your name for the record and please begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Miles Owen. I'm a resident of Brewery Town District 5, a regular user of our roads and transit systems, and I work as a city and infrastructure planner. I'm here today on behalf of Transit Forward Philadelphia to speak in support of the package delivery fee for two reasons. First, speaking to my background as a city planner, since 2019, the numbers of packages delivered throughout the United States has increased from 15.6 to 24.6 billion. Assuming the size of this increase of nearly 10 billion packages throughout the U.S. is the same in Philadelphia, that means the number of package deliveries in Philly has increased by over 60% in just a few years. This means thousands more heavy trucks on our roads every day, which destroy pavement and cause congestion when double parked in our neighborhoods. Requiring these companies to pay just a little more for the damage they cause makes sense to me. And secondly, speaking less about the direct impacts on our roads and infrastructure and more as somebody who loves shopping at local Philadelphia businesses, each package delivered was not purchased in person at a small business here in Philly. This fee won't reverse the massive increase in e-commerce, but it will create a small incentive to support our local businesses over billionaires and massive multinational corporations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council President Johnson and City Council. My name is Jigar Mehta. I'm talking on behalf of the rideshare tax. My biggest concern about the rideshare tax, I think it should go up to $1,000 per delivery if it's a robot. That is what I'm worried about. That is what I lose sleep over, because this is the direction it's going. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing it in our city. They're testing in our city. There's going to be robots that are going to be driving people around. We don't have to worry about Uber taxes anymore. No one's going to have a job. So I would strongly encourage that there's an amendment to say, like, whatever the tax needs to be for the current situation, but let's make sure we add a robot tax for $1,000 per delivery, whatever it needs to be. And another thing, I do want to thank City Council, because on March 25th, the Law Department thanked all of you for eliminating the bird exemption. That bird exemption raised taxes on Philadelphians across the board, individuals and sole proprietors. What they didn't say is that before you made that decision, in good faith, City Council was working with lawyers, the two top lawyers in our city at Stradley Ronan and Ballard Spahr, to find a solution. And by November 20th, we found a solution to exempt individuals and sole proprietors. Thank you, Councilman Driscoll, for introducing that bill. Also, I want to make sure we thank the City Council members, City Council Member Squilla, City Council Member Brooks, for their policy expertise. I want to thank City Council members, Hardy, Lozada, O'Neill, O'Rourke, Phillips, Young, for sponsoring the bill. We have 9 votes. Also want to thank Councilmember Gilmore Richardson. She may not know it. It's because of her connections. A lot of the people that are engaged in this entire process is because of her connections. I want to thank Councilmember Gautier and especially Councilmember Thomas, who at the point when no one else was raising the alarms, he was. So overall, in good faith, I want to say everybody in City Council worked to find a solution before they voted to eliminate the exemption. And it's important to make that fact. And on the same day that you were thanked by the Law Department for getting rid of the exemption, for the 100,000 bird exemption, they also said this law was constitutional publicly. Publicly, they stated it was constitutional. So thank you, City Council. What we're asking now is, in good faith, the work was done, and now in faith, we're asking for action to bring a vote. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Garnick. I'm here representing Teach Plus Pennsylvania in support of the bills. I'm also a proud resident of District 1. I am a former first grade teacher, so I'm here today to testify from that perspective. I have sat on the floor with first graders learning to read. I watched the moment happen when things clicked for them, and I see what happens when a child doesn't get there in time. Research tells us that a child who can't read proficiently by third grade is 4 times more likely to drop out of school. And right now, 83% of Philadelphia fourth graders are not reading proficiently. That is a crisis of literacy, and their teachers are the single most powerful factor in changing that. And Philadelphia is about to lay off 340 of those teachers. A $1 rideshare fee and a cell phone tower fee would generate $48 million annually, go directly to Philly public schools, and save those 340 positions. Uber and Lyft can afford it. Philly asks less than New York. We're asking less than Chicago. We're asking less than DC. So please vote yes on both bills, ideally before May and before budgets are finalized and pink slips go out. Our students cannot wait, and our teachers deserve protection. Thank you.
My name's Eden McDougall. I'm a District 2 resident and I teach in District 8. I ride SEPTA every day and I also cycle frequently. I support increasing funding for SEPTA in general and also specific initiatives like Zero Fare. I have a friend in Baltimore who struggles financially, and on top of having to pay rent and bills, they also have to pay for the bus to get to work, and it makes it really hard for them because there's no reduced fare or zero fare for low-income people in Baltimore. So we're really lucky to have this program in Philadelphia. We should preserve it and make it permanent, which can be done with funds from the package delivery tax. We should also keep funding Vision Zero. I don't want to get hit biking home because someone just really, really, really needed to park in the bike lane. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of City Council. My name is Alex Malone. I live in the 2nd District. I am here on behalf of Fiscal Advocacy as the Transit Committee Co-Chair. We at Fiscal Advocacy urge you to fully fund and expand the Zero Fare Transit Program, which benefits Philadelphians living below the poverty line. For residents with the least financial stability, even the cost of a daily fare can be a barrier to basic mobility that many take for granted. Zero Fare removes that barrier. It allows people to get to work, attend medical appointments, access groceries, and stay connected to their communities without having to choose between transit costs and other basic needs. Investing in Zero Fare is an investment in low-income Philadelphians. It puts money back into the pockets of residents who are struggling the most, reducing financial pressure and expanding access to economic opportunity while simultaneously supporting SEPTA. We also recognize that funding this program requires dedicated revenue. To accomplish this, Fiscal supports the Mayor's proposed funding plan, including measures such as a package delivery tax, as a practical way to sustainably fund this program going forward. However, we do oppose the use of those funds for the paying of parking tickets, which would be a gross misallocation of very limited funds. City Council has the opportunity here and now to sustainably support a program that is already working to support both our people and our transit system simultaneously. We at Fiscal Advocacy urge you to make Zero Fare a permanently funded program and to expand it to serve every eligible Philadelphian living below the poverty line. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Bronskill. I'm the Coalition Manager for Transit Forward Philly. Thank you, Council President, Council, all the incredible advocates and community leaders speaking up for their communities and schools today. I want to talk about the incredible opportunity we have through the package delivery tax and the funds for transportation projects here in Philadelphia. As some of my colleagues have shared, we have a remarkable opportunity through the Mayor's proposed budget to fund Zero Fare this year and into the future. This is a moment, we talk with a lot of transit riders at SEPTA platforms. We have a very big, diverse community. We may not all look the same or travel the same, but we all have somewhere to go. If you make minimum wage here in Philly and Pennsylvania, you make $7.25 an hour. If you're tapping SEPTA both ways, that's $5.80. It's 48 minutes on the job. If you're a transit rider who has a physical disability, use a wheelchair, an access ride can cost almost $12 round trip to the grocery store or to the doctor. If you're a student, and thank you, Councilmember Landau, for speaking up on this, If you're trying to get to an after-school activity, a summer program, or work on the weekends, your student fare card doesn't go far enough. We believe that we have an incredible opportunity to invest in these programs that even Dallas has. We can't let Dallas beat us at anything. Philly deserves great schools. It deserves great transit. We can fund those through this budget. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Allegra Dingle, Janice Tosto, Kevin Burgess, Zania Cahill, Vidula Joshi, and Larry Bombach.
Hi, my name is Allegra Dingle, and I'm a transit advocate here on behalf of Transit Forward Philadelphia. I recognize the majority of the discussion today has been related to the rideshare tax, but I'd like to share my thoughts on the package delivery tax funding public transportation. I am personally so privileged to be surrounded by transit by way of the trolley, the MFL, and the bus. But there are so many residents in Southwest Philadelphia, who I represent, that still must rely on cars because transit is either inaccessible, unreliable, or too expensive for them. A fully funded transit system would make mass transit a more attractive option for Philadelphians, and funding raised with a package delivery tax should expand transit access equity. The package delivery tax would truly benefit seniors and low-income riders, the recipients of programs like Zero Fare, the Transit Access Fund, Student Fare, and other transit equity initiatives. Equity starts with getting where you need to go. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Vidula Joshi, and I'm a resident of Council District 3. I'm also a former corporate employee of Lyft, a company that is lobbying against the new rideshare tax proposals that have the potential to be hugely beneficial for Philadelphians. I support the rideshare and retail tax proposals. Philly desperately needs improvements to local infrastructure, public services, and quality of life to get it to a minimal level of respectability. It's frankly embarrassing that in the richest country in the world, in one of the biggest cities in the country, we have to close public schools due to lack of funding. Our streets are crumbling and our transit is sparse. I commend Mayor Parker for taking action to put more money towards our severely underfunded schools and fix our crumbling infrastructure. However, as written, the tax proposals allow the large tech companies to pass the cost of the tax down to already struggling consumers. I urge you to ensure that this tax is progressive, meaning the mega-rich corporations themselves are on the hook for it. As a former tech employee, I've seen firsthand how rich these companies, who essentially operate in an oligopoly, truly are. The fact that they fight tooth and nail when asked to minimally contribute to the communities that enrich them is frankly embarrassing. I want to live in a city that's healthy and safe. I want our kids in schools and our infrastructure fixed. The city budget needs to include deep investments in the most marginalized communities in Philadelphia, and we do that by making sure the rich pay their fair share. The tech companies need us more than we need them. I urge you to have the political courage to act in favor of working Philadelphians. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kevin Burgess, and I'm a resident of South Philly, and I'm here to speak in support of the rideshare fee. It's important to remember why we're here. Harrisburg has underfunded Philly public schools for years, and while there's been progress, the district is still owed almost $1 billion. So now we find ourselves once again in a make-or-break moment for Philly public schools and the 198,000 students they serve. If the district's deficit is not addressed, 340 teachers, counselors, and support staff will lose their jobs, directly harming Philly kids' education. Let us also remember, rideshare companies earn billions each year. They can afford to cover the cost of the fee. Furthermore, we've heard from the rideshare companies about how the proposed fee would allegedly hurt drivers. However, I think it is these very companies that have actively fought efforts to increase driver pay and extend drivers' labor protections. So their concerns now can't help but ring false to my ears. As the council debates this policy, let's remember what this is really about: stepping up for Philly's kids that are already asked to earn with less than they deserve. In conclusion, our kids are worth it. Rideshare companies can't afford it. Please support this proposed investment. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Zaina Cahill. I live in Council District 1, and I am a Lyft and Uber rider, an education advocate, and the parent of a child soon to enter into the School District of Philadelphia. I'm speaking in support of the rideshare fee and cell phone tower tax, and I'm here today to urge City Council to support the Mayor's proposal to provide $50.4 million for the School District of Philadelphia to prevent cuts to permanently assigned school staff in the 2026 and 2027 school year. This funding would help protect 340 teachers, counselors, climate staff, and other school-based positions that students and families rely on every single day. The rideshare fee is an investment in Philadelphia's 198,000 public school students. Rideshare companies have the option to absorb this $1 per ride cost rather than pass this fee on to their consumers, with Lyft and Uber collectively valued at over $65 billion. They can afford to pay this fee and contribute to the funding of education for the communities that they serve. Philadelphia is asking less than comparable major cities who have already passed these fees, like New York, Chicago, and DC. The revenue is legally designated for the school district, and the fund raised from the fee will go directly to Philly Public Schools, not the general fund, immediately benefiting our city's students. We're counting on City Council. If Council fails to pass this measure, 340 school staff will lose their jobs, and Philly students and their families will lose out on critical education resources. I urge you to oppose any reductions to school funding and support new revenue solutions, including the proposed rideshare fee, to ensure schools have the resources they need. Our students deserve safe, supportive, and well-resourced learning environments. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Larry Bomback. Good afternoon. My name is Larry Bomback. I'm a CFO, a small business owner, and a parent of 2 children in Philadelphia Public Schools. I'm also an Uber One member, and I fully support the proposed Uber tax because it's a practical, fair way to invest in our city's future. Uber is a convenience. Public education is a necessity. Families in my Northern Liberties neighborhood leave for the suburbs when their kids reach school age because they don't believe Philadelphia prioritizes basic school conditions. And when they leave, we lose tax revenue and local spending. Uber is a convenience. Public education is a necessity. Uber has the scale and pricing power to absorb a modest local tax, and if it made good on its threats and chose to leave the city, I'm sure another entrant would step up, fill the void, and pay the tax because there are simply too many people in this city that want to use the service. Uber is a convenience. Public education is a necessity. Thanks to Philadelphia's affordable and acceptable and accessible public transportation system, there are always other options to get from point A to point B. If we do not vote yes on Mayor Parker's proposal, we have effectively chosen to continue subsidizing a $200 billion company based in San Francisco over our own Philadelphia kids. I urge you to support this measure.
Next we have Madeline Johnson, Saren Tuck, Lillian Dunn, Margaret DeSanta, Jean Stewart, and Stacy Holland.
Please state your name and begin, please.
Madeline Johns. Okay. Hello, my name is Madeline Johns, and I am here with Transit Forward Philadelphia, advocating for the taxation of package delivery in Philadelphia to go towards funding public transportation initiatives and expanding the current SEPTA student program. Being a university student, I utilize public transportation to advance myself academically and professionally. I travel around the city to attend class field trips, lectures at other universities, and for social activities. I enjoy being a college student in Philadelphia, a city that is rich in history and community opportunities for students. I try to spend Sundays exploring something new in the city, a new neighborhood, museum, or restaurant. To do this and to attend my internship and classes during the week, I utilize SEPTA's public transportation system. As a university student, I have access to the SEPTA U-Pass program, which allows me to travel around the city for free with up to 240 rides per month. School students in grades 7 through 12 should have the same ability to access opportunities in Philadelphia. As an intern with Transit Forward Philadelphia, I have been working to research, connect, and advocate for universal student fares to make public transportation more accessible and equitable for all Philadelphia students. The current SEPTA student fare program limits students' mobility and places financial burdens on their families to transport their children around the city. Middle and high school students in Philadelphia deserve the freedom of mobility and access to opportunities that will help build their futures. Unfortunately, the current SEPTA student fare program does not go far enough for students. Students who live less than 1.5 miles from their school, who have jobs after school, enrichment activities on the weekend, or programs over the summer are unable to use their SEPTA student passes to reach them. I am asking you to consider using the taxation of package delivery in Philadelphia to fund public transportation and expand the student fare program in Philadelphia so that students have the mobility to access growth and community opportunities in their city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, City Council President and members of Council. My name is Margaret DeSanto. I'm a 3rd District resident and an advocate for children and families with Children's First. I also serve as a committee person in the 3rd Ward and 6th Division. I am the Education Chair of the Cobbs Creek Community Educational Environmental Center. My children are proud graduates of the Philadelphia School District. I currently have grandchildren in the Philadelphia School District. I am here today with a clear ask: support at minimum the mayor's proposed $50.4 million investment in the school district of Philadelphia to prevent harmful cuts in 2026 and 2027 school year. Let's be clear, we're at a moment of urgency and our response must match the reality. For years, our schools have been underfunded and our children have suffered and carried the burden of the disinvestment. A court has already provided information about what families have long known: our schools have not been funded adequately or equitably. The Commonwealth has begun to respond. The city must do its part. The city is the decision maker, and their choices will determine whether our schools stabilize or continue to struggle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Janine Stewart, a mental health therapist in private practice here in Center City. I'm so glad that Mayor Parker is attempting to fund the Philadelphia schools with the rideshare tax. Educating our youth is an ethical duty we all share as adults. However, a regressive tax, like the $1 rideshare tax, if it's paid by the people, not the companies such as Uber and Lyft, or the new version of the BERT tax passed last summer, is not the answer. These regressive tax measures are poised to cause a mass exodus of single-owner LLCs and sole proprietors fleeing the city, ultimately depleting the tax base. I am one of those sole proprietors. Due to the removal of the exemption on the first $100K on the BERT, my total tax bill was at least $8,000 more than anticipated this year. This is a devastating blow that eats into funds for rent, vacations, food, leaving me vulnerable to burnout, and everyone else in my field the same. Looking at future tax bills consistently 60% higher than they were last year, I am seriously considering moving my practice outside of Philly. I don't know how I'll afford to stay in my home. Financial pressure among Philadelphians is at a fever pitch. The clients I see who already struggle with depression, anxiety, and the impacts of trauma often tell me they feel increasingly demoralized amid rising costs. But it's more than that. Clients and therapists feel demoralized by the decisions of our leaders, from the president to the CEOs to our state and local leaders, which often indicate that those in power aren't willing to address the crucial issue of our day: the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Many therapists I've spoken to describe the BERT tax change as heartbreaking, crushing, and absurd. Others aren't sure how they'll stay. Under very tight budgets, with health insurance premiums having already increased and prices having risen 9% cumulatively over the past 3 years, rent money is extremely tight. People must not be priced out of the city they work tirelessly to support. Nor should the food truck drivers or the Uber and Lyft drivers who make every day run more smoothly. The burden of funding the schools and the city's infrastructure must be shouldered by the corporations that make a profit, not by the individuals whose livelihoods will be destroyed by getting gouged.
Thank you very much. Please state your name. Please begin.
I'm Lillian Dunn. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a therapist in private practice. Like Janine, I'm here to support the rideshare tax if being paid by the corporations, not by the riders, instead of burdening working people like the BERT does after the exemption elimination. The removal of the BERT exemption is disproportionately impacting mental health practitioners in private practice. About half of our field of mental health practitioners in this city are private practitioners making under $100,000 and sole proprietors. Private practice psychotherapists like me offer an essential service to our city's economy. We stabilize working people, prevent crises from worsening, and keep people in their jobs and in their families. And today, about 20% of adult Americans suffer from some sort of mental illness. Recent research has shown that untreated mental illness among Americans, namely workers, costs the U.S. economy about $282 billion a year. The BERT tax exemption removal has raised the taxes on my small business by a factor of 6. BERT has made me and every colleague of mine in a similar position I've spoken to seriously consider moving our businesses out of the city. And where we go, our local expertise goes. Our ability to see people in person, where they live and work, refer them to local networks for the kinds of proactive care that prevents mental health crises from happening or worsening. Look around, it's 2026. You do not want to lose half of the mental health field in the city due to a misguided tax exemption removal. Reform BERT and keep mental health workers in the city to keep Philadelphia thriving. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Just state your name for the record, Stacey.
Yes, my name is Dr. Stacey Holland. Thank you so much, Council President and members of Council, for allowing me to testify today. I am the Executive Director of Elevate 215, which is dedicated to improving the quality of schools throughout Philadelphia. But I'm here today to implore you to support the rideshare and cell phone tower tax, which would protect 340 school-based jobs and, more importantly, add reoccurring revenue to our SDP system, which educates over 198,000 children. Today, Elevate has invested millions in almost 31 K-12 schools, and we can attest that the staff are the magic. They lead academic progress, which is about consistency. The staff provide relationships. The staff are trustworthy. Parents, kids, and each other, they depend on each other. We have to make sure that that staff is supported and that they are protected because they are the heart of our school community and they are the reason why our children can thrive. Reoccurring revenue would allow SDP to keep the necessary staff and therefore provide consistency. Underfunding is not abstract. It means schools are struggling to provide students with individualized attention, mental health supports, and academic intervention. The conversation before us is the right one, simply because it is the truth. If we want different outcomes for students, we have to be willing to make different choices. I am here to ask you, implore you, to improve the rideshare tax and cell phone tax and continue this conversation with focus and urgency with the for the students because they deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Lawyer, please call the next panel.
Next, we have Sue Hoffman, Kate Fox, April Brown, Dr. Robin Cooper, Bianca Reyes, and Dr. Tony Damon.
State your name for the record and please begin your testimony.
Hello, my name is Sue Hoffman. I'm a member of Power Interfaith and Congregation Mishkan Shalom in Manayunk, Council District 4, but many of our congregants live in Mount Airy and Germantown, and Council Member Cindy Bass's District 8. I'm speaking today because the budget is a moral document, and we at Power are glad to see the city tap new funding sources, because we're going to need them, but we're concerned that those new taxes and along with existing taxes shouldn't fall primarily on everyday Philadelphians, especially the lowest income Philadelphians who are renters. There's an affordability crisis in our city, which I know and Catherine Gilmore Richardson knows. When I used to run the Women in Non-Traditional Careers program at Philadelphia Works, we saw that women wanted to go to training, wanted to better their lives and get into the building trades, but they couldn't afford lunch, they couldn't afford transportation, they couldn't afford childcare. We don't want new taxes that make the affordability crisis worse, and Power's affordability report shows that low-income renters already bear the biggest burden from sales tax and from landlords passing through property taxes. I urge the City Council to create a long-term tax plan that makes sure our city is funded, but in a moral and fair way. Taxes shouldn't go up for Philadelphians who are already struggling. Those who can afford it should pay their fair share. Power Interfaith looks forward to shaping that future with you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is April Brown. I am the proud principal of Finletter Elementary School located in the Alney section of Philadelphia. I am here today to speak not just about numbers on a spreadsheet, but about the real impact of the budget cuts on children, families, and educators, and ultimately about the district's equity promise to cultivate prosperity and liberation for our students and staff. The school district's equity statement explicitly commits to prioritizing historically marginalized populations by removing barriers and increasing access. Yet, the proposed budget reductions for Finletter, which includes losing 5 teachers, a counselor, and 2 climate staff, do the exact opposite. These cuts don't remove barriers, they build them. Finletter serves one of the highest concentration of students with complex needs in Philadelphia, including 10 autistic support classrooms. According to the Office of Specialized Services, we are legally and morally bound to provide a free and appropriate public education. However, when we strip a school of its staff, we are not increasing inclusion, we are isolating our most vulnerable populations and our learners. We are placing students and educators in an impossible environment where the shared culture of social responsibility the district's claim to value is sacrificed for a bottom line. True organizational accountability means that when the district promises to build trusting relationships, it must protect the very people who form those bonds. Each educator lost is a broken bridge for a child who relies on consistency to feel safe and to learn. When we reduce staff in high-needs buildings, class sizes swell and individualized attention vanishes. We are asking fewer adults to meet greater needs. That is not equity, and is certainly not liberation. It is the continued marginalization of a community that has already been told to do more with less for far too long. Our students deserve safe, supportive, and well-resourced classrooms. They deserve the prosperity the district has put in writing. I urge City Council and the district leadership to continue to move beyond the rhetoric of equity and into the practice of it. Protect the resources that our students depend on. If you are committed to removing barriers, start by removing the threat of these budget cuts. Pass the rideshare tax. Thank you for your time and your accountability to the students and families of Philadelphia. Please don't just publish equity statements, fund them.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Tony Damon, and I am the principal of Middle Years Alternative, also known as Maya. I am here today representing staff, students, families, and my colleagues, many of which who could not be here to speak for themselves. As someone born, raised, and educated here in Philadelphia, returning home to serve and educate the next generation was an easy decision. What is not easy is doing this work without the funding and support our schools need and deserve. For many years, large corporations have been allowed to operate in our city while avoiding their fair share of taxes. Meanwhile, educators, students, and families were left advocating for basic resources required to provide quality education so that our young people could one day fill these very jobs these companies promise to bring. Instead, we continue to see repeated budget cuts. The data is clear what happens when young people are not adequately prepared for their future. Since I've joined the district in 2012, we have experienced cycles of closures and funding reductions. And now here we are again in 2026 seeing the same thing. At Maya alone, we have lost a special education teacher, a climate manager, and 2 climate staff members. Critical positions that directly support safe and effective learning environments. We now have an opportunity before us, a rideshare tax that could restore essential positions not only at Maya, but across the schools citywide. This should be a straightforward decision. Instead, these companies are choosing to avoid responsibility, shifting the burden onto working-class drivers and riders while our schools fight for survival. I urge you, not only allow large corporations to dictate the future of our children, do not accept cuts that will have lasting consequences on their lives and opportunities. Please pass the rideshare tax. Hold these companies accountable, and most importantly, invest in our schools. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. I am asking for you to support number 260208.
Please state your name for the record. We know who you are, but you have to state your name for the record. Thank you.
I am Dr. Robin Cooper, President and Principal Officer of Teamsters Local 502, Commonwealth Association of School Administrators. I am asking for support for Bill number 260208 for rideshare and 260205 for cell phone tower tax. We talk about the village, and I'm looking at the village that's all around. A lot of folks in this room have always supported public education, and I sincerely thank you for it. I'm just urging you to please support this tax because our time is not done. You know, we often talk about public education and what we're doing, and we are working as a village. We are a part of that village. You are a part of that village. So when folks say increase attendance, we did. They said reduce suspensions, we did. They said make the school safer, we did. But we did that with money. We did that with the necessary resources. We did that because the city stepped up. We did that because the state stepped up. I have a real problem with the Billionaire Boys Club, where they could just put out a bullying, threatening newspaper and say, we'll just pass this tax on to the riders. So that's done as a distraction. I have a further problem when we hide from the bullying as opposed to addressing it head on. This tax does not have to be given to any rider, anywhere, ever. So we take and we talk about public education. We cannot cave to the Billionaires Boys Club because they are saying, hey, you know, we're going to just pass it. I think our children are important. I think that we are doing the job. I think we all are part of the community, the village, and we know what we can do when we all come together. Dr. Martin Luther King said, the time is always right to do what's right. Supporting the rideshare tax, supporting the cell tower tax, it's the right thing to do. And all we ask is, what will we be remembered for when we go into the history books? Will we have protected our most vulnerable population? And that's our student. I am speaking as a former public school student of Philadelphia. All I know is Philadelphia. If I could sit here, so can someone else. Please support the rideshare tax. Thank you so much for your time.
Next, we have Tisha Dunn, Chrissy Parfit, Dr. Ismail Raham Lamar, Keith Arrington, Brian Johnson, Michael Roth, and Nicole Willoughby.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tisha Dunn, the proud principal of S. Ware Mitchell School, a K-8 school located in Southwest Philadelphia. Due to this budget cut, we have lost 7 teachers. Our K-4 grades used to have 2 teachers. Well, they currently have 2 teachers per grade. With this budget cut, next year we will have 1 teacher per grade for K to 4, the most fundamental years. And that means going from an average of 14 to 15 scholars per class to an average of 27. Our middle school program that we worked so hard to develop, with 4 expert teachers in math, ELA, science, and social studies, will be reduced to 2 teachers. That will be requiring 1 teacher to know math and science and administer and implement a curriculum for both topics. We've worked so hard to develop our teachers. If I had mentioned, my school is the home of the heroes, meaning we have respect, engage, and be responsible of heroes. We are in the midst of a crisis that's starting to feel like we are entering into the Marvel's endgame, where we are fighting for our future, a fight that we cannot fight by ourselves. Our mayor stated that her office is working to bring back jobs and opportunities to this city. Our scholars deserve to be competitors. We deserve in Philadelphia to raise our own children to become Philadelphia's future. City Council, you are the heroes that we need. You are our Iron Man, our Spider-Man, our Hulk, our Captain Marvel, and we are asking you to assemble. We support this rideshare tax where we could start $1. We are worth $1. This rideshare tax can reshape our reality of our need for better school. $1, 1 snack.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Christy Parfit. I'm the proud principal of J. Cook Elementary School in the Logan section of Philadelphia. Throughout my time as the principal at Cook, I have seen the dedication and hard work of the staff, scholars, and community members. Since the pandemic, Cook has demonstrated remarkable resilience, with recent data highlighting a strong upward trajectory in both school culture and academic growth. The steady improvement in our data is a direct result of having the right tools, a reliable team, and a clear plan of action. The investment in resources for our school has paved the way for our team to effectively make an impact in the school community. As the 26-27 school year approaches, there is great concern that losing vital resources will stall the progress that we have worked so hard to achieve. As a result of the budget cuts, J. Cook is seeing a decrease in about $1.4 million alone at our school. This equates to 1 assistant principal, 5 teachers, 1 climate liaison, and 5 student climate staff. The budget cuts not only reduce our staff significantly, it reduces the access our scholars have and deserve. Across the city, there are several schools grappling with severe budget cuts and shortfalls that have forced the elimination of essential staff roles and academic programs. Backing a dedicated tax on rideshare services offers a practical and sustainable solution to provide immediate relief to these struggling schools. This targeted funding ensures that the burden of municipal deficits does not fall on the shoulders of the students. It allows schools to maintain important resources, programming, and staffing levels necessary for a safe, high-quality learning environment. Supporting such a measure is a direct investment in the long-term stability of the community and the success of the next generation.
Good afternoon, City Council members. My name is Nicole Willoughby, and I serve as principal in Learning Network 8 at Potter Thomas School. Budget cuts aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're the faces of the people who make our school function. Potter Thomas is losing 5 critical positions: a reading interventionist, a math interventionist. They're the very people who help struggling students catch up to grade level. An ESOL teacher, leaving our English language learners without the specialized support that they deserve. A kindergarten teacher, forcing our most vulnerable learners into overcrowding classrooms. A dean of students, who is essential for maintaining positive school culture. Without these roles, class size increases, targeted interventions disappear, our English language learners lose essential language support, and our youngest students, our most vulnerable students, our kindergartners, lose the strong start that they deserve. The rideshare tax is a necessary intervention. It provides a clear, sustainable path to restoring these 5 positions and ensuring that my students aren't defined by what they've lost, but by what they can achieve. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Roth, the proud principal of Olney High School. We're going to be losing 17 members of our staff this year. I could talk about what that's going to do to our progress, but I want to tell you something else instead. This morning I received a call from a parent. Last school year, 2 of our Olney students were killed in separate shootings. This morning, I received a call from the mother of one of those young men. She called me because one of our counselors, unbeknownst to me, had reached out to this parent earlier this year. Counselor Donahue informed the parents that since their son would have graduated this year, the Olney High School team wanted to recognize their son at our graduation ceremony and present a member of his family with his diploma. The young man's mom called just to go over some of the details with me and tell me how grateful she was that the school thought of this honor. The parent and I also talked for a bit, reflecting on her son, and talked about some of her son's Olney friends. I could tell that this conversation in the moment to talk about her lost son meant a lot. I could also hear in her voice how the chance to have her son recognize at the Olney graduation was extremely important and came as a pleasant surprise to her. This invite and thoughtful action was initiated by Counselor Donahue. Counselor Donahue is one of the staff members losing her position to these budget cuts, along with another counselor who is from the neighborhood and served Olney for 10 years. We will also lose an assistant principal, a climate manager, and 2 climate staff members who grew up in the Olney neighborhood and want to serve their community. We will be losing 11 teachers, 8 of whom have been with us all 4 years of the turnaround. I won't say the end, but please pass this rideshare tax. We need the funds to keep our schools moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Johnson, principal of John Bartram High School. Very thankful, Mike, that I haven't had to go through something like that recently. The last 2 years, we have not lost any students at our school due to our staff at the school, which is a huge thing as a comprehensive high school in Southwest Philadelphia, District 2. Our school serves as a true anchor for our students and families. We're facing the loss of 2 teachers, 1 administrator, and 2 climate staff. In addition, 3 additional climate staff. Rather than lose the positions, I had to reduce their hours from 7 hours down to 6 hours. These are not just positions, they're trusted adults who know our students, support our families, and help maintain a safe, stable learning environment. I've seen this before as the principal of Tilden Middle School during a period of significant staff reductions. I watched the social and emotional health of students suffer as trusted adults disappeared almost overnight. We cannot allow that to happen again. The proposed $1 rideshare tax will allow us to keep all the positions, maintain full hours for our staff. It will preserve the relationships and consistency our students rely on every single day. I urge you to protect this investment in our school community. Our students in Southwest Philadelphia deserve stability, support, and opportunity. Thank you.
And Bahir Hayes. And if there's anyone else here to testify whose name I have not called, please come to the podium now.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Principal Hayes from Bryant Elementary School. I stand before you as the proud leader of Bryant, a school rooted in community that has carried more than its share. Bryant is a place where a child was abducted, a place that felt the lasting impact of moon bombings, a place where just recently a 1,000-man march moved through the community in response to violence. Our students come to us with some of the highest ACEs scores and mental health needs in the city. We are located in the top 10 litter zone, surrounded by environmental stressors that show up in our classrooms every day. And yet, despite all of that, we are making progress. Not by chance, but because we had the resources to invest in safety and support and in student success. That's why I'm here today in support of the Uber rideshare tax, because it represents sustainable local investment in schools like Bryant. With COVID relief funding, Bryant was able to exit state intervention within 3 years, the earliest possible timeline. Last year, we achieved green status across 3 years of data, ELA, math, attendance, and suspensions. The progress is not abstract. That progress is people, it's teachers, it's climate staff, it's counselors, it's consistent, caring adults showing up every day for our children. And funding streams like the rideshare tax ensure we can sustain those people. Because when we lose even one teacher, the impact is not temporary, it's lifelong for a child. And when we lose climate staff, we lose the very foundation that keeps our schools safe, stable, and supportive. There's a difference between rising to meet a challenge and being forced to operate in a constant state of scarcity. That's not strength, that's burnout. And when burnout sets in, it doesn't just affect staff, it affects students. It affects relationships. It affects the very community we are trying to build and protect. Our students feel that. Our families feel that. The Uber rideshare tax helps us change that reality. Because quite frankly, right now, schools are like a boat taking on water. These funds help us plug those holes. It keeps the boat afloat. But it's our staff, our teachers, our climate teams, and our counselors who actually move the boat forward. Without the funding, we're just trying to stay above water. With it, we can build momentum. And we've already shown that's possible when we were properly resourced. So this is just not about maintaining, it's about continuing progress for Bryant, for our students, and for our community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Katidra Argro, and I come before you today as a Philadelphia taxpayer, but as a proud product of the School District of Philadelphia and someone who has dedicated my life to it. I'm a proud graduate of Hartranft Elementary, and I'm the proud principal and alum of the Philadelphia High School for Girls, where I now have the honor of leading the institution where I once went. For 20 years, I have served in every role, whether it was a middle magnet, charter sector, central office, comprehensive high school at Martin Luther King, John Berry Elementary, which is a neighborhood school. And so across every single one of those experiences, one truth remains constant. Our schools need adequate funding to provide what our students are entitled to, not just what we can afford. As a vested educator in any school, in any part of the city, we need your support with the rideshare tax. How can we talk about enrichment, innovation, and opportunity when we are still struggling to fund what is required? For years, the narrative around the School District of Philadelphia has not reflected the brilliance, resilience, and potential of our students or our staff. As city leaders and educators, we have worked tirelessly to change the narrative through intentional climate and culture initiatives, through relationship building, through creating welcoming and affirming environments for our students. We are redefining what it means to attend a Philadelphia public school. But the very positions and supports that drive this transformation, counselors, climate staff, are some of the ones being cut. You cannot change a narrative without investing in the people doing the work. The students of 2026 carrying more than any generation before them. Post-pandemic learning gaps, increased mental health, a demand for real-world skills. They need more. We are being asked to do more. If we are serious about closing gaps, supporting the whole child, we must ensure that every student has access to these supports. The proposed rideshare tax is not just a policy decision, it is an investment in our students. As a high school principal, we have to provide electives, 23.5 credits, that requires staff and instruction that sparks these students' passion and connection. These classes make sure that every student wants to come to school. We need for them to want to come. If we want to increase graduation rates, decrease dropout rates, then we must invest in a system that makes those outcomes possible. Mayor Parker says, "One Philly, a united city." Dr. Wallaton speaks of becoming the fastest growing urban school district. Those visions cannot become reality without meaningful investment in our schools. I say this with urgency and with love for this city. We cannot afford to fall short for our students. If you want to be a part of strengthening Philadelphia's future, if you want to stand for equity, opportunity, and progress, then I urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Sorry, it's my first, I've never done this before. Good afternoon, council members. My name is Galina Novakova, and I am a Philadelphia resident and a rideshare driver, as well as a rider. I am here to oppose the bill 260208 with the proposed $1 rideshare tax. Let me be clear, Philadelphia schools deserve funding. I am a parent myself. I'm a single parent myself. Our children deserve safe schools, teachers, counselors, and resources, but placing another tax on rideshare trips is the wrong way to do it. This tax will hurt everyday working people first, not corporations. It will hit seniors going to appointments workers commuting late at night, families in neighborhoods with limited transit access, teenagers that go to school in the mornings because it's not safe for them to ride SEPTA, college students and residents who rely on rideshare when SEPTA is delayed, unsafe, or unavailable. The very same residents that use these schools, their children go to these schools. As a driver and a rider, I can also tell you that this affects us too. When rides become more expensive, customers tip less, ride less, or stop using the service altogether. That means fewer trips and less income for drivers that are already struggling with gas, maintenance, insurance, and rising living costs. Many drivers like me are already seeing fewer requests and unstable earnings. We are trying to survive. We should not be a collateral damage in a budget solution. Philadelphia already taxes residents heavily. Instead of taxing transportation access, the city should examine waste, mismanagement, existing revenue streams, and fair alternatives that do not burden working class people. Please support schools, but do it without punishing working class people, especially when gas, food, rent, and everything else is expensive. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your testimony. Are there any further witnesses here to testify whose name has not been called? Seeing none, the chair now recognizes Councilmember Thomas for a motion that the public hearing and meeting on the bills and resolutions before the committee today stand in recess until Wednesday, April 22nd at 10 a.m. in room 400, City Hall.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we stand in recess.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the public hearing and meeting on the bills and resolution before the committee today stand in recess until Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026 at 10 a.m. in room 400, City Hall. All those in favor of the motion will indicate by stating aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it and the motion carries. This committee will stand in recess until Wednesday, April 22nd at 10 a.m., at which time we will reconvene in room 400, City Hall. Thank you.
Star is rising, a star that's playing for more than himself. He's playing for Philly, a city that strives to get 1% better every day, a city he calls home.
And there's zero excuse for losing our homes. That's why I joined the fight for a safer, cleaner, greener Philadelphia.
Philly, we need your help. We are one Philly, a united city, and we need to unite in our fight against litter and illegal dumping. I'm Mayor Cherelle Parker, and I'm ready to fight. Let's go. Join the fight at phila.gov.
Of course Philadelphia recycles.
Yes, Philadelphia recycles. Yes, Philadelphia recycles.
Yes, Philadelphia recycles. We recycle curbside. We recycle at our sanitation convenience centers.
Loving your city is about recycling.
The city of Philadelphia is fully committed. Just go ask them.
Yeah, we're big on sustainability all around.
Recycling is really important. Make sure you put your stuff in the blue bin.
I think that recycling is really important.
Philadelphia is an amazing city. It's very important that we recycle, keep our city clean.
I'm just trying to do my part to give back to society and Earth.
I recycle because I live in Philadelphia and I love this city and I want it to be as green and clean as it can be.
I came to Philadelphia about 4.5 years ago and I was surprised to see how conscious everybody was about recycling.
I recycle to reduce my carbon footprint, and I welcome all my neighbors and my community to do the same so we can have a healthier future.
Each year, we collect about 80,000, 85,000 tons of recyclable material.
This year, there's a new materials recovery facility opening up that is going to give us higher yields, more efficient sorting. And so we're really looking forward to this facility coming online, and we want to encourage all Philadelphians to keep recycling.
The little things do add up, and everyone has a part to play. And so recycling is just one